Kandia with Kandia Haynesworth Designs. Thank you so much for joining in today. Today we are going to be talking about comparing your embroidery business to others. And I just want to warn that this may be a sensitive subject for some because I have a tendency to be brutally honest and blunt, raw, that kind of thing. And some don't appreciate my candor. And so I just want to kind of warn you that, this is how I am. So it is what it is. And if you find that, you're getting a little upset over something that I'm saying, then just please click off. I have over 200 and something videos on YouTube. You don't have to watch this one. I appreciate your support and all, but I don't want to upset anyone. But I'm not going to sugarcoat my feelings or my thought process and so forth to appease anyone else. So this video might not be for you if you are sensitive. Okay, so today we are talking about comparing your embroidery business to others. Okay, now generally, I don't normally tell other embroidery business owners to compare themselves to others. I will continue to say that you should not allow other people to compare you to others because they don't really know your story and they only gone by what they see and they don't even know the other embroidery business owner's story. So I still stand firm on that. But under normal circumstances, I would never encourage embroidery business owners to compare your embroidery business to others. But the truth is sometimes you need to position yourself, your embroidery business that is, up against others. Because if this means that you positioning yourself, your embroidery business, up against other embroidery business owners, if it means it will motivate you, if it means that it's going to cause you to shift, if it means that it's going to cause you to do better, to re-strategize, then compare your company, because the result is you're going to be in a better place. You're going to be under a fire, meaning that you're going to be moving. You're going to be taking your embroidery business into a different level. You're going to be doing something differently that you weren't doing before. So sometimes you need that. Whatever you need to motivate you, do it. So if it means that you need to compare yourself to another embroidery business, then compare yourself to another embroidery business. Do whatever works. However, don't make this a habit. Okay, so this is not a situation where this is going to become your norm, your routine every day. You looking for new websites to compare yourself to. You on Instagram looking at my photos, Eve's photos, everybody else's photos, and you're looking at, no, we're not doing that. Okay, I'm saying to use, if you have to compare yourself to my company or somebody else's company to get you moving once in a while, do that. But every day, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so once again, we're not making it a habit. All right, and so comparing your embroidery business to others doesn't mean you will also become jealous, stuck, or caught up in your emotions that you become blind. You become blind and ungrateful for what you have because you are so focused on what someone else is doing or what someone else have. All right? And so I'm giving you the guidelines to being able to compare yourself, okay? So if you're going to compare yourself, you're only doing it one time. Right? You're only going to do it one time, and you are going to keep in mind that you're not going to get stuck here. We're not going to get caught up with the oohs and the ahs and, oh my goodness, her baby ensemble is so pretty. I want to make sure, we're not getting caught up in that. It's just you're using it as a fire that you need, a kick in the butt, a push. This is what you are using this comparison tool for, okay? That's all you're doing, okay? And this is not going to be something that you make a habit. And so I just want to tell you that this is what this is going to be about today. This discussion is going to be comparing with others. I've heard my entire life that comparison is the thief of joy. I've always disagreed with this. Comparison allows us to measure our current status, our progress, and it helps us make goals. Okay, so if you don't have anything to compare yourself to compare your success to compare your current state to, then how are you going to know really where you need to go? How are you going to achieve better? Okay, that's how records are broken, by comparing statuses, right? And so I don't believe that comparison is the thief of joy. I think that when it is done in an excessive manner, when it is consuming you, that's when it steals your joy, because you can't really appreciate your current status. You can't appreciate what you have. And that's what I was saying before. Don't become blind and ungrateful. And so everything, when it's controlled and in a controlled setting, environment, or with restrictions from the start, then it's not too much. It's not bad. Okay. And so, once again, I've heard this my whole life, that comparison is the thief of joy. I think that in many cases I have a different perspective than most people, and I've always been like that since I was a kid. And so I've never agreed with this. Comparison allows us to test strategies, processes, and pretty much see what's work and what's not working. And so, in your business, you're going to need to compare your own strategies and processes. You're going to need to see what's working for you, and the only way that you can do that is by comparing. So comparison, in my opinion, is not the thief of joy. Okay, so you want to start out by asking yourself, compared to who? So who are you comparing yourself to? Okay, so when you are pairing your embroidery business up against another embroidery business that you obviously think have an edge over your embroidery business, this embroidery business needs to have a higher edge. It needs to impress you, not just slight, right? And so that's why a lot of the times I would even suggest not even to compare yourself to an embroidery business, to go outside the box, because another person doing a completely different business may impress you just with their strategies and how they promote themselves, or how they market themselves, or how they handle the accounting and the bookkeeping. You might just really admire their processes. It doesn't have to necessarily be somebody that's in the embroidery industry. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you absolutely like everything that this person does. You can kind of focus on one section of their business and either duplicate it and customize it that will fit your business, that will take your business to the next level, or have smoother transactions, right? But if you are going to compare yourself to another embroidery business, find someone that really impresses you and ask yourself why. So put your embroidery work up against theirs. And I got to tell you, for the most part, it's all personalization. I have quite a few people that will compare their work to mine, and they will even send photos, right? And for the most part, their embroidery machines can do exactly what my embroidery machines can do. The edge that I have over most is simply the presentation. And you will see that people try to maybe fold their blankets tight like mine, and lay the bibs, or position or prop the teddy bear like mine, or whatever, and they kind of miss the mark. But that's because I've been doing it longer than theirs, not because I'm just so much better. It's just I have more practice, right? And so again, I opened my business in 2009. So if you are an embroidery business owner that you're just starting out in 2015 or 2016, you might not have the same level skill that I have, because I have a 4 or 5 year head start on you. Okay. However, I may be someone that you might want to keep, an eye on, just to kind of see and compare yourself to, okay, you know what, that's the person that I like, so I just want to kind of watch what she's doing, or something like that. All right. But overall, the person that you are comparing yourself to needs to impress you. All right. And they need to impress you with their website or their storefront. If they have a storefront, that's even better, because you can actually go inside of their store and just kind of look around and observe how they display items and so forth. So if you can go to their storefront, that's even better. All right. Their social media presence. You want to see how people are conducting themselves on social media. You know what I mean? Their business habits, their practices, their strategies. Basically someone you would jump at the opportunity to work alongside with if you had the chance. Okay. And so I say that this needs to be someone who's either mastered or have come close, in your opinion, come close to mastering their craft. And you admire that, and you want to just kind of, watch them, right? And so Once again, I would say that this doesn't necessarily have to be a person that is in the embroidery business owner, and in some cases, it's probably going to be more beneficial if they're not an embroidery business owner. And so I just want to open your mind to, when you are comparing yourself, have a strategy on exactly what you're looking for. You want to ask yourself exactly who are you comparing yourself to, and you want to really focus on what it is about their strategies, processes, their display, their presentation, their business overall that you would even compare yourself to and that you find impressive. Okay, so the only way that this is going to work in a healthy and an effective way is you got to be honest with yourself. Okay, you got to be honest with yourself and decide where you're at, come to terms with where you're at and where you want to be. All right, so you're not going to sugarcoat it because it's just you doing this. This is not something that you are publicizing. You're telling everyone. This is between you and your embroidery company. If you have a partner, you can share it with your partner. You have a spouse, you can share it with your spouse, whatever the case may be, but you are not publicly putting this on the internet, on your Instagram, on your Facebook page, on your website that I am looking at Kandia Haynesworth stuff because we're not doing that. You're not putting it on your personal Facebook page either. All right, this is not something that you want to publicly publicize, because to be quite frank, it is nobody's business. It's no one's business. It's your business. It's your embroidery business, and you're going to keep it as such. All right, but once again, you've got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. That is the only way that this is going to work. And you got to come to terms and decide where you are. All right. You got to do that. It is not going to work if you are sugarcoating yourself, if you are lying to yourself, if you are, if you're blind. If you're blind to what your embroidery business is not doing. Okay, and so and that's hard sometimes to have to come to terms with it because it only reveals how much work we really need. It only reveals what work we really need. And so let me tell you something. I am not a person that does not walk the walk, or I just talk the talk and I don't walk the walk. That's an old saying, so I guess I'm kind of dating myself, but I used to hear grown folks say that my whole life when I was growing up. Okay, and so I'm not a person that just talk the talk and don't walk the walk. And so what that means is I'm going to publicly and publicize exactly what happened with me and what's still happening with me, because I'm still not where I want to be at in my embroidery business. But I want to show you. I'm going to show you how I applied this process to my embroidery business. And so when I had to come to terms with being honest, and deciding where I was at, I had to really put it on a line. And here's my truth revealed. Okay, so here is my truth list. Here is my truth list. And one of the things that I want to say is that when I made this truth list, I was in a totally different place and space in my life. I was working as an x-ray tech. And for the most part, when I was making this truth list, I was guessing. And I know that, you said, well, you knew what you wanted to do, Kandia. No, I didn't know how it would be to work as a full-time CEO in my embroidery studio with no help, because this was going to be new for me. All right, now, when I made this was in April of 2017. We are now at the end of September of 2017. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of these things I am still working on, I have not achieved. All right, and so this is why this is still important to this video. So number one, I may need help. I may need a studio assistant. No, I am sure now I need a studio assistant. I find myself doing a lot of little tasks that I really wish I could assign to someone else. Like when I am completing baby ensembles. I can have 3 crates of orders, right? And each order have 5, 6, 8 pieces in them that all need tags. I find myself sewing on little tags when that task can be assigned to an assistant. And number two, I may need to revise my schedule. And so I knew my studio schedule was going to be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so that means that I knew that I will be willing to provide some kind of service, whether it's deliveries, telephone consultations, in-studio consultation. I was willing to provide some kind of service in my embroidery business. However, I really needed to revise my schedule for me. So that means that at these days, I am out of my studio by 11 o'clock. No more working on baby ensembles at 1 a.m., on live stream at 2 a.m. I'm not doing that anymore. And number three, I will need to downsize some of my services, that I was currently offering if I was going to incorporate a mentoring program. So at the time, I did have a mentoring program, but we were at the end of cycle 1, and now we are at the end of cycle 2. And I knew that I was going to be revising the program for cycle 1, and that meant taking on more embroidery mentoring students. Now, because I'm going into cycle 3, I have revised it once again. Okay, it's revised completely differently than cycle 2. Okay, because you grow, you learn, that kind of thing. I also knew that I was going to be purchasing a heat press and doing t-shirt services. So I needed to think about the time that I was going to be able to assign to t-shirt orders. Okay, so I knew that I needed to downsize some things. The sewing lessons was the thing to go first. I knew that I had to eliminate sewing lessons altogether so I could have time to do these other things. Time for my mentoring students, time for my heat press t-shirt orders that I thought will be coming in, and I needed to eliminate that. And then the next thing was my website. My website is severely neglected, and I have an active goal date of 12/31/17. So I am hoping to really have my website up and running again by December 31st. It is up and running. So if you go to Kandia@Haynesworth.com, it is up and running. But what I mean by that is people cannot go on my website and purchase items. And the reason being is because I deactivated it in 2014. I know people might say, why? Because I couldn't manage it. Simply put, because I could not manage it. Orders was coming in at 2 a.m., 4 a.m. I didn't even know about it. The credit card companies were putting money in my account. It was very hard to manage. And so it have served as really a display over the last almost 3 years now. And it's just foolish at this point. It is very foolish for me to have a website, to have a company that's growing without an active website. And so I have an active goal date. And then new targets. I wanted to target new companies and club accounts. I wanted to shift the target of my customers, and I have done that. I have successfully obtained new company accounts and new club accounts. The Navy Mom Squad account, that's not a club that I would normally, target, but these people have 475 members plus, and they're all women. Women have babies. I run in a baby ensemble business. So this was ideal for me to take on this task because these orders come in individually. And so when I am packing each t-shirt, I'm also attaching something that shows what I do outside of t-shirt orders and what other way would I have to present my company or introduce my company to them. And then the next thing was revamping my studio. I knew that I wanted to shift, change, transition my studio from a sewing classroom into a creative adult space. And so no longer was the art studio, sewing studio thing working for me. Okay, and I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I knew that I was not going to paint. And so what I did was I removed the red and yellow theme and incorporated with navy blue. So my new colors are turquoise, white, and navy blue, right? And that works because when people come into my studio now, it doesn't look like a kiddie classroom. It looks like an adult creative studio. And they can see how being in that space inspires me. And so one of the things that I want to point out is that when you are doing a truth list, once again, you have to be honest with yourself and come to terms where you are, right? But when you are comparing yourself up against other companies and websites and that kind of thing, you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself and keep in mind that, that you are not there yet, but you're working towards getting there. So this is not a situation where you should leave somebody's website or Instagram page or Facebook page depressed because your stuff don't look like their stuff. This is not that kind of situation. So when I compare myself to my two favorite websites that I absolutely love, here is what I always keep in mind. That I'm awesome. Absolutely, I remember and keep in mind all the time that I am awesome. Yes, I have work to do. Yes, I may have a long journey, but I know where I'm going and I am awesome in every step of the way. Yes, these websites are breathtaking and they're very professional and interactive and updated and, on point. And yes, they are awesome. I'm not going to take that away from them, but I am awesome too. And I always keep that in mind. I am awesome where I am in my life. I am awesome where I am in my journey. And I don't let anyone take that away from me, even when I know that there is work to be done. And so when you are visiting websites, Facebook pages, Instagram pages, wherever you are visiting that you are comparing yourself up against someone else, you already know that they're going to be good, because we already know that that's why you're visiting them, because you are impressed. But just keep in mind, you are awesome too. You are awesome too. Earlier this year, I shared with you that one of my favorite websites that I compare myself to, actually, it wasn't my favorite website at the time. It's one of my favorite websites now, but it is a website that I compared myself to, was Vichy.com. Vichy.com have become one of my favorite websites because they motivate me. They motivate me. They inspire me. They inspire me, and one of the things that I really like to do is keep tabs on Vichy.com, because I like to see how they are progressing. One of the things that I will tell you is that when you find an Instagram page, a Facebook page, a website that you are comparing your embroidery business to, visit them one time a month. 2 times at the most, and in my opinion, 2 times is way too many times to visit them. And the reason why is because one time a month allows your brain to reset itself the next month. Okay, and so you can then really measure, the progress that this company is making, and really you can actually measure the progress you're making. So if Vichy.com is doing this month, and let me see where Kandia Haynesworth is. All right, and next month, the Vichy.com is doing something else different. Let me see where Kandia Haynesworth is. It motivates me. It really, really motivates me, and I think that it will motivate you if you focus on what they're doing, their progress, and then compare it to the progress and what you are doing in your embroidery business. Now, I got to tell you that I first visited Vichy.com this past winter around February 2017, and I will post a video below so you can see how they have made progress as well since then. Okay, I believe the video had something to do with pricing. And once again, I will post a link below. I gotta tell you, since then, Vichy.com, they have stepped their game up. They stepped their game up. They have made so much progress in a matter of 6 months. In a matter of 6 months, and this is what keeps me inspired, seeing them inspired. Okay, and so Vichy.com, they make custom baby items and they offer personalization just like my company. Okay, but they also offer now, creative totes that can be used as gifts, everyday totes, baby bag totes, and they allow you to build it. I love that. I love the fact that it's so interactive. They have a nice variety. Okay, their prices, if you look at their prices in comparison to my prices, my average baby ensemble is about $150, right? $200, that kind of thing. And this is where along the lines that their items are. So we are neck to neck in comparison to prices, because I even have small baby ensembles that I sell for $75. Right? But when you think about the workmanship or the craftsmanship that is involved in making a $150 baby ensemble versus one tote, they are getting the bang for their buck because they are working smarter, not harder. I'm working harder at this point. If you look at, $165 ensemble compared to a $165 bag, this is one item once and done. Whereas I'm still sewing and embroidering when this tote is complete. And so that inspires me to kind of think about strategies and processes and other things that I can offer that is not as time consuming. Okay, and so that's what I mean when I say compare yourself. Look at their stuff, but don't just ooh and ah. Don't just ooh and ah over their stuff. Really compare what are they doing up against what you are doing in your embroidery business. Now, when I first discovered Vichy.com, I really was looking at their baby blankets and their baby bibs, okay? And if you look at their baby blankets, in comparison to our blankets, and I mean mine and yours, all right, because most of us, we do sell baby blankets. This looks just like our blankets, right? Right, I think so. I mean, it's minky and it's fleece and it's, satin binding. For the most part, yeah, you might not be able to find, let's say, this You might not be able to find this pattern, but you can find that color. You can find gray. You definitely can find white minky. This is not something that, is so astronomical or so extraordinary. However, their customers seem to think so, and that's why they are able to start their blankets off, just the blanket, at $100 because their customers think that they are worth it. Okay, and that's a great position to be in. And their website allows you to build it or change it accordingly, right? I mean, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful, but it's not something that you or I cannot make. All right. And so, when you compare prices to prices, I have baby ensembles that are $100 and they have one blanket. I don't want to say one little blanket, but it's one blanket that's $100. And speaking of size, let's see what is the size of these blankets. These blankets are 30 by 40. So they're not, substantially huge. That's an average size of a baby blanket. All right. And so I really like Vichy.com because they're doing something right and it inspires me to do better. It inspires me to do better. And so at this point in the game, what I will do is continue to watch them. I will visit them once a month. I will compare what I'm doing, my progress up against their progress, and that's how I stay inspired. Now, let me show you a website that, I got to tell you, I find puzzling, but I am mesmerized by them. I'm puzzled by them, but I am mesmerized by them, and I really like their website too. This is another company that I compare myself to. I am puzzled and mesmerized by Monica and Andy. I discovered Monica and Andy when I entered personalized baby gift sets in the Google search box. So for Vichy.com, I discovered them when I entered personalized bibs in the Google search box. They were both first on the list after these searches were performed, okay? And so I came to Monica and Andy to see what they have. And just like Vichy.com, it's a well-presented website, clean and natural tones and, clear, bright pictures, information posted about the company, display of items about the company. They were also featured in Forbes magazine, which is very impressive and very huge for a company. And just overall had a nice, warm, and friendly, inviting tone to it. Okay, and so one of the things that I learned about Monica and Andy is when I clicked on the layette set, okay, once again, it took me to another warm and friendly page, but I also learned that this is what they sell. They sell 3 baby ensemble sets in 3 different sizes, okay? And this is the scale of their business, okay? So they don't have an extensive inventory like Vichy.com. They don't have an extensive ensemble portfolio like Kandia Haynesworth Designs, but this is the scale of their company. And so I was very impressed by it. Number one, that we were on the same page in regards to keepsake items after the ensemble is dismantled. So that is the whole purpose of my ensembles being in a variety of sizes, because after the ensemble is dismantled, the customer or the recipient of the ensemble can keep the baskets as laundry baskets or a throw basket in your living room. The wicker baskets with the handles can be used for fruit or during the holidays or Easter time. The bins that the ensembles are packed in can be used for toys or socks or just so many things you can use these ensemble containers for. And so with these ensemble containers, it looks like they are made of acrylic, which means that they can be used for smaller items later on after they are dismantled. And that's a good thing because it will always keep you in the back of your customer's mind. Every time they look at this item, they will have you in the back of their mind because they will know where they got it from. And so we were on the same line there. And I absolutely love this where it shows, the over picture of how it looks once it's opened. I absolutely love that. And so I was curious to find out what was the pricing on these layette sets and what was in them. I mean, I have an idea here, but I really wanted to know how much something like this cost compared to my prices and, what was in it. And so I clicked on this. And this arrow takes me to the layette page where it shows a full description of what is inside of this box. And when you scroll down, it shows you that these ensembles cost $1,000. $1,000, and here's what you are getting in these ensembles. You are getting some receiving blankets, you're getting hats, you're getting t-shirts, you're getting a little pant set. And so my mouth dropped when I realized, like, geez, I couldn't believe that this was $1,000. But this is obviously priced well for their clients because they are up in business, okay? And it's obviously worth it. And I guess their stuff is also organic. So I guess it's made out of organic cotton or, that kind of thing. But I wanted to know exactly what you are getting here. And I learned that, yes, you are getting 5 receiving blankets, which they refer to as coming home blankets. You're getting 2 always blankets, which I guess is a smaller version of the coming home blankets, and 3 knot caps, which we refer to as beanie caps or skull caps. You're getting tops, you're getting pants, 2 of each. You're getting a short sleeve body shirt, or bodysuit rather. You're getting rompers, a nightgown, a dream gown. You're getting 4 pairs of booties. You're getting burp cloths. So you are getting quite a few items. And it's $1,000. I mean, that's how much it costs. Some people's mortgage is $1,000. Okay, and so I was really impressed at the fact that this is who their clients are. Again, they have been featured in Forbes magazine, so they are in business. I don't know how well they're doing or how well they're not doing, but they're doing something right. Okay, and I have followed this company, this website, for a couple of months now, and the one thing that I have noticed is that they have not changed. This is it. They have not changed. And so with Vichy.com, I have seen them make progress, make changes, update their website. Monica and Andy have remained the same across the board. And the most intriguing part about Monica and Andy is, out of all 3 companies, meaning Kandia Haynesworth.com, Vichy.com, and MonicaandAndy.com, they are the ones where they are priced the highest and sells the least amount of items. They have the least amount of options. And I find that absolutely puzzling and mesmerizing. Okay, I would have to sell 3 to 4 baby ensembles to achieve the amount that they are selling one ensemble. And I find that puzzling. And so this is a company that I have returned on a monthly basis just to watch their progress. I'm not able to measure their progress because this is what their website is across the board. This is what it has been for the past few months. And I don't know if they're planning on changing. The holidays is coming up. A lot of times people change their websites for the holidays. I will see. But in the meantime, I follow them, and I'm mesmerized by them. And so, once again, like I said before, if you are going to compare yourself to someone's Facebook page, Instagram page, website, it needs to impress you. And when it impresses you and you are comparing yourself up against them, ask yourself why. Okay, so let's recap. Let's talk about why you would want to compare your embroidery business to another embroidery business. Simply put, because this allows you to measure your progress. This allows you to measure your success as well. And it also puts you in a position where you're kind of forced to confront your fears and your hesitations or any insecurities that you may have. Okay, and so I think that, comparison enables us to really study ourselves, really. Okay, and I gotta tell you, who other than you is the best person to do a study on your embroidery business? Only you can do this, right? And only you can do it well. Okay, so you can hire a mentor, you can hire a social media manager, you can hire outside companies to kind of market and analyze what you're doing, but only you can really do a study for your embroidery business, to be quite frank. Only you. A lot of the times what I have found is a lot of people are just not willing to face what they're doing. Okay, because to actually confront what you are doing means you should be in the position to change it. Okay, because once you know, you know. You can't act like you don't know once you know. All right, and so that's why we are doing this. Okay, now I will tell you that once again, when you're comparing your embroidery business to other embroidery businesses or companies, because it doesn't necessarily have to be comparing yourself to another embroidery business, it could be companies. All right, you want to find companies that you find impressive. Okay, so I got to tell you that in regards to Vichy.com and MonicaandAndy.com, I find both of those websites impressive. Those companies are very impressive, right? Okay, and I got to tell you that what I find, impressive with Vichy.com is that they sell what I sell. Yeah, they sell other stuff like for moms and dads, which I really don't. But for the most part, they sell baby stuff. They sell blankets. They sell personalized blankets, right? And so I feel like with the right investment, I really can go up against Vichy.com. I really can go up against Vichy.com. With a great investment for my website, possibly hire a website graphic artist, not necessarily a manager, a graphic artist, and even a manager. Even a manager. If I hire a website manager, I wouldn't have to worry about website orders, right? So I would probably need a website builder or a graphic artist, a website manager to manage my website. Would it be expensive? Yes, but is it doable? Just because something's expensive doesn't mean that it's not doable. It's not achievable, right? You might have to cut corners here or there, whatever, but it can be done. And so I feel like, Vichy.com keeps me on my toes because I can get there. I can get where Vichy.com is. All right. And Monica and Andy, I gotta tell you, Monica and Andy, they mesmerize me, and I'm puzzled by them because if you look at the image that I have here on your screen, Vichy.com and Kandia Haynesworth, Vichy.com and Kandia Haynesworth.com, we are the bigger fish in the small bowl. Right? Because we offer all this stuff. My baby ensembles is all this stuff. It comes in a gift basket, right? Whether it's a basket or a bin, and it's huge, right? It's a big container that my ensemble come in. Their ensembles come in this cute little box that they offer free shipping and handling for because they cut down on the cost. My baby ensembles, they cost $30, $40 to ship. I cannot offer free shipping and handling. That the customer have to pick up that price, unfortunately, because the size of the ensemble. So they can afford to ship ensembles for free because their ensembles containers are small. So that's small. So what I'm saying is they are a smaller fish in a bigger fish tank. And I find that puzzling. And I find it very, impressive as well. So one of the things I do want to kind of recap on is before you do your comparison, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to come to terms of what your embroidery company is doing, what it is not doing, where it is, okay, its current state. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't lie to yourself, okay? You got to make goals. You got to make measurable goals. You have to set deadlines. So don't just say, okay, I want to do this. No, you're going to do this. How are you going to do it and when? You got to give yourself, a full, solid plan. Okay, don't just have dreams, have goals. All right, and the last thing that I want to point out is before you pair your embroidery business up against somebody else's business, okay, just keep in mind that you are awesome. You are awesome. Yes, this company may be well presented. Yes, they pictures and, they may have a consistent flow of customers on Instagram, on Facebook. Yes, their website may be updated often. It might be fancy, but you are awesome exactly where you are. All right, you are awesome exactly where you are. That company may be bigger, smaller than you, but you are awesome exactly where you are. So if I am a bigger fish in this little bowl, guess what? I am awesome in this little bowl. One day I will get over to that big bowl. And I'm not going to allow anyone to try to convince me otherwise. I am awesome exactly where I am. I am awesome in my journey, and so are you. Okay, and so, you got to work with what you have, and you got to accept and come to terms that, yes, you do have a lot of work to be done. Okay, and be willing to do it. And that's it. I know I have a lot of work to be done, and I've done a lot of work. I have made a lot of progress since 2009, but you know what? I am not done yet. I understand that, and I am okay in my journey. I am okay helping people get up and climb up to the next step so they can also make progress in their journey. So if I'm on notch number 7 and somebody is on notch number 1, I'm willing to help them get up to notch number 3. Notch number 4. Let's go. We're gonna all be awesome and great together. That's my goal. That's how I think. And so I gotta tell you that once again, remember that you are awesome in your greatness and don't let anyone take that away from you. I mean, I can't say it enough. Now, if you plan to take this challenge, please, 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 please comment below. You don't have to share who you are going to compare yourself up against, but just tell me if you plan to take the challenge. Tell me if you are a little afraid to take the challenge. Tell me if you don't want to know. Maybe you like being blind. I don't know. You know what I mean? But just tell me what your thoughts are on this video. And I like to discuss it in the group Embroidery Boss. So if you are not a member of the Embroidery Boss group on Facebook, but you are an embroidery business owner, come join me. And even if you are a hobbyist, come join me. And if not, then come visit me on Facebook at Kandia@Haynesworth.com, and come visit me on Instagram. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining in. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and hit that bell next to the subscribe button so you can find out when I am uploading videos. And until then, I will see you next time.